just try to understand what are the advantages a working professional has and what are the disadvantages a working professional has and what are the basic myths around which this entire preparation revolves, and then we'll try to move ahead first. The not having a proper preparation environment is also another major issue, because many of the students come to Delhi or any other preparation hubs with the aim of getting this environment of preparation. Okay, so you may not have that. Okay, so let's be honest and accept that. Maintaining a physical and mental health is again very much important, because when you try to balance everything, you may tend to ignore, okay, so कुछ भी खा लेंगे चलो, so manage हो जाएगा. Okay, so and कुछ भी so नींद खराब हो गया तो ठीक है चलेगा ऐसे. So that you cannot do in a long run. Okay, if you have done graduation in your arts and if you are interested and if you can do that, you can pull off. You can go into the science subjects also. There is no limitation. Anything which you choose, you have to study in more detailed manner at the honors level, that is 4-year degree level. Is it required that you need to quit your job? Not necessary. It is definitely not necessary. What you need is a right strategy, a right approach. Hello everyone. My name is Rajesh Govindaraj. I'm a senior faculty of Vision IS here. I'm associated with Vision since last 10 years. And I bring in front of you a coaching experience of nearly 15 years of guiding aspirants who are preparing for UPSC examination. So through this video series, I'd like to share my experience and share my advice and guidance particularly for those aspirants who are working, who are having their job, and along with that parallelly they're trying to prepare. Okay, so because so the working and preparing for UPSC together it brings a unique set of challenges for anyone, and their preparation strategy cannot be the same with respect to any other candidate who is giving his 100% of time here. Okay, so we'll try to understand the challenges faced by working professionals and try to analyze how exactly to overcome these challenges, and we'll try to see so how exactly the strategy should be during your preparation. Okay, so let's begin. So talking about the working professionals, okay, so I myself was also working during my preparation at one point of time. And I have faced my own set of challenges. I definitely understand this, and going through that and along with the preparation, so have also achieved some success within UPSC and beyond UPSC, right? So through that, my experience and the experience of other fellow aspirants who have cleared this. So I would like to share, okay, so how to strategize for this. Because so for a working professional, it is not the same with respect to any other candidate who has quit the job and or anyone who is just coming out of the college and just trying to to give 100%. Okay, so there comes a unique set of challenges, and also there are certain different advantages which they have compared to any other candidate. Okay, so should you really have to quit your job and prepare completely, or if at all you are planning to prepare along with the job, how exactly to do that? Okay, so all of this is basically the motive behind this series. Okay, so coming to the initial part. Okay, so the advantages. Okay, so let me just clarify. Let's just try to understand what are the advantages a working professional has and what are the disadvantages a working professional has and what are the basic myths around which this entire preparation revolves, and then we'll try to move ahead first. For a person who is preparing along with the job or any kind of work, okay, so there comes a set of advantages which is not there for a person who is giving his entire time through preparation. Because obviously a person who is giving his 100% for preparation is a graduate who has just come out of the college, or maybe a person who has worked for some time and has quit his job, and then he's trying to give his time for the preparation. Compared to them, what are the advantages a person has if you're working as well as preparing together? The first important thing is obviously a financial stability. Okay, so working, you are earning some amount of money, which ensures your family's needs, your basic needs. Okay, so which you don't have to worry about. Okay, on the other hand, a person who is a full-time civil service aspirant, you know about their life story. So we have many series coming out, and then the movies also being made. Okay, so they go through a lot of financial stress. Of course, not everyone will have that luxury of so having a good financial family background who will support you till you prepare. Okay, so a working professional is not required to go through those stress. And second is definitely the practical approach. Okay, so person who has been working, who has worked, brings that practical approach to the study, to the preparation. Person who is just freshly coming out of the college may not actually see the real world, understand the real world challenges, right? So if it's not only interview, even in the mains preparation, even the prelims preparation, in every different stage, in every different in every different subject, whether it is history or geography or economics, you can correlate more to the real world than a person who is just coming out of it, because he has to do a lot of work from his side to understand things. Many of the things you will understand very easily. Okay, so even it gets reflected in your answers too, in interview as well as mains. The third important thing is you have a better time management skill. A person who is having a regular job, going to office from 9 to 5, okay, so who knows how to manage his time with the family, manage his time with the office work and the personal time. Okay, so that kind of time management is your asset, which is very much required in the preparation also. Many of the times a civil service aspirant who is just coming out of the college gets into this preparation and so tries to do everything and gets lost in the process. One of the main issue he faces is the time management skill. Coming from a working background, you get that. And having that limitation of time, you can make it as an advantage for you. Because when you have a limitation of time, you tend to use it more judiciously and plan for it and execute this. On the other hand, a person who is having the luxury of time tend to think that, okay, I have enough time, okay, so I'll do it leisurely. That becomes a disadvantage for him also. And working experience obviously becomes a main advantage for you in your interview, because some part of your interview will revolve around the work, okay, which you have done. Okay, what kind of work is this? What is the nature of the job? What have you done? What is the present context, like this? A major part of the interview will revolve around that. Against a person who has no working experience, the question can be from any corner of the world on any topic, which becomes a kind of bouncer for them. Okay, so this gives you some predictability and you can prepare thoroughly for that. And this is the area where you have worked. It becomes a very good advantage for you, the working experience. And obviously overall anxiety, stress, okay, so because there's something to hold on to. Okay, so a person who is preparing, let's say continuously 2-3 attempts ho gaya, so you don't have much of so work experience also, and you don't know where to go back to, or you're worried about like what will happen if you don't clear UPSC exam. You don't have that kind of pressure on you. You have something to hold on. So with that you can play freely. Okay, so you can give your best if you can overcome the challenges, of course. Okay, these are the main advantages we can say. And talking about the major challenges, a working candidate, working professional would face is the limitation of time. Yes. So I told you, time limitation, you can use it as an advantage if you plan properly. But if you don't plan properly, if you face issue in terms of uncertainty of workers, okay, so in those cases, definitely it becomes a major challenge for you. Because some of the jobs require your 100% attention, and some of the jobs also, like there's no fixed hours, okay, it varies in that sense. So time becomes a major constraint, and if you don't plan properly your preparation, so everything goes off the track. Limited study hours, yes, limited study hours. See, when I say study hours, it is the hours in which you are going to give your 100% mind, and that is limited for a working professional. Because it's not like after coming from the office, spending your entire day in the office or the field. Okay, so if you try to sit and study, so you may not have that mental capacity. You have to plan properly in which time of the day you will be able to sit and study, and that becomes a bit of limitation. So maintaining consistency with studies is another important challenge, because so sometimes so the work involves some particular time of the year. So let's say so it's a financial year end and you may have to give more time over there, or maybe there is some field trip or outside trip you have to go on the work. Okay, that will limit the time. Okay, so in that case, managing a consistent work and the study balance becomes a difficult challenge here. And the not having a proper preparation environment is also another major issue, because many of the students come to Delhi or any other preparation hubs with the aim of getting this environment of preparation. Okay, so you may not have that. Okay, so let's be honest and accept that. Maintaining a physical and mental health is again very much important, because when you try to balance everything, you may tend to ignore, okay, so कुछ भी खा लेंगे चलो, so manage हो जाएगा. Okay, so and कुछ भी, so नींद खराब हो गया तो ठीक है चलेगा ऐसे. So that you cannot do in a long run. To make this balance sustainable, to manage your work as well as study, so parallelly, you have to ensure that you take care of your health, you take care of your mental health. Okay, so then only you'll be able to give your mind here, right? And that becomes major challenge here too. And overall stress and pressure. Okay, so because you are trying to balance everything, you're trying to give your mind to the office work, you're trying to give your mind to the preparation also. During the exam time, so you may not be able to focus over there. During some extra work time, you'll not be able to focus on the study. So this creates a lot of tension. You want to do something, your mind wants to go over there, you wholeheartedly, you're not able to do that. That creates a stress and pressure on yourself, and to handle that again is a major challenge. Okay, so talking about the challenges and the advantages. Okay, so I've given you the major advantages of a working professional and major challenges faced by a working professional. Okay, so now considering all of this, the main question which comes to everyone mind who is a working professional is, do you need to quit your job to prepare for UPSC? Okay, this is a very, very important question. I guess most of the working professional faces this question at least few times in a month during your preparation. I'm not saying once in the entire preparation. Obviously, it comes to your mind. At least few times in a month, at least few times in a week, it will come to your mind, should you quit your job? Okay, so this is a major, major question. Okay, so, and there are certain myths associated with this. Okay, so these are the myths, it appears like a fact, it appears like a truth, which will make you think, yes, maybe quitting the job is better for you, maybe quitting the job will give you better results. First, let's go through the myths, then we'll try to get an answer to these questions. The important myth which is associated with the UPSC preparation along with working. Okay, so the first thing, only a full-time aspirants can succeed in this examination. You must have heard UPSC civil service exam is it's considered to be the toughest exam. Okay, so on the earth. Okay, so not only India, on the earth it is said often. It is said that everything and anything can be asked below the sky. Okay, anything under the sun can be asked. Okay, this kind of so image is there on this exam. And even if you ask any of your older generation officers, okay, IAS officers of older generation, okay, or IPS officers of older generation, they will say, okay, so you have to do a tapasya. You have to lock yourself in the room and give your 100%. Okay, so leave all your contact with the outside world for 1 year, then you will succeed. Okay, that would be the advice they would give. Trust me, those times are gone. Even if you give your 100% by quitting job, by quitting every other work, and you sit and study in 1 year completely in an isolated manner without, so leaving every social media or leaving every contact, there is no guarantee of selection. Because clearing UPSC requires a very simple and straightforward approach. There is a particular demand which UPSC is trying to look for. You need to catch that. That doesn't matter whether you are a working professional or you are non-working professional. You are giving your 100% time here, or you are giving some time and trying to manage. It doesn't matter. A person who is giving his entire time for the preparation, and if he is not able to get that, so the demand of UPSC is not able to understand the strategy, there is no point. Even if he giving 2 years, 3 years or 5 years, he will not be able to clear. Whereas a person who is focused, who is balanced in the approach, and he get that strategy, right approach, he can clear even with the working, so the work which he had committed to. It is not necessary only a full-time aspirants can succeed. We have various different examples of UPSC aspirants clearing along with the work. Second major myth is quitting ensures discipline. Okay, so people think that, okay, you have a job, you have a responsibility, so this may not ensure your 100% preparation. If you quit, okay, so you can sit in a particular place and so through complete discipline you can prepare. Again, this is not 100% sure. Okay, so because I told you, so a person who is giving his entire time tend to think that he has the luxury of time. Okay, so he can do everything. I'll try to do everything. I'll try to do everything, and I try to read everything. I'll try to write everything, and I want to do everything. That is his mindset, and I have a luxury of time. In this process, usually they tend to lose the actual track of UPSC and go completely off. Okay, so having the limitation of time, you can make it as advantage if you bring the right strategy over there. Like if you bring the right strategy, you can ensure your work as an advantage and use that to make your disciplined study. Okay, so because you are not stressed by the financial condition, you are not stressed about the future. You have that luxury. You can play with the free mind. Only you have to overcome those challenges. It doesn't matter. Okay, so discipline can come in either way, whether you are preparing full time or preparing along with the job. Third, office works hampers study rhythm. Okay, so again, it's not necessary. Okay, so office work is not necessarily disturbs your rhythm. If you can manage your study hours regularly, consistently, you are able to do that. Take a support of the classes or take the support of mentoring. Okay, so and follow a right strategy along with the office, you can definitely manage. It is not necessary that it will disturb. No. It's all here. It's all in your mind. Okay, so coming back to the simple question, is it required that you need to quit your job? Not necessary. It is definitely not necessary. What you need is a right strategy, a right approach. If you have that right approach, using those advantages which is there in front of you, okay, so you can easily overcome the challenges and so clear this path, right? So that is the overall idea of this series of the videos which we are making here. Okay, so to give you the basic approach and to guide you in that direction which is required by UPSC. Definitely from our end, which is very clear, we have many aspirants who had come to Vision IAS and taken our help and gone through this journey and has cleared and shown to the entire aspirant community that it is possible. It's all here in your mind. Okay, so of course, it all varies from individual level also. Okay, so if at all you are in a situation which you can balance your work and go through the preparation, why not take the advantages of being a working professional? Okay, so why not use that advantages to prepare well? Okay, so because you can easily overcome those challenges which is there in front of a completely 100% free aspirant, right? You're losing those advantages, is that right? Yes. So moving ahead, let me give you a basic overview of this UPSC syllabus in this first part of this video. Okay, so and very briefly, I'll tell you the strategy overview, and then we'll proceed with the other videos where we will discuss in more detail. Talking about the syllabus aspect, the overall timeline of this UPSC Civil Services examination is, it starts with the notification. Notification is the beginning of everything, the entire cycle. Okay, so notification usually comes out in the month of January or February. Okay, so earlier it used to be March, now no more, it is March. Usually it comes in the month of end of January or February. Once the notification is out, through that the cycle of examination would begin. It will open the window of application. Usually it will be there for 20 to 25 days. Okay, so sometimes 20 days, sometimes 15 days, sometimes 25 days. You need to be very sure about the exact date of closure of examination application. You have to apply before, well before, to ensure that you apply. Okay, so and even the prelims application is more detailed now. Last year, UPSC has made certain changes, and there it almost takes every set of information which is usually required in the examination, and only mains, only limited information is taken. So you have to give enough time to fill the examination application and ensure that you're applying for this examination here. If let's say if you're appearing for 2027, okay, so the January 2027, okay, so January 2027 is when the application window opens through this notification. And usually in the month of May or June, depending upon the year, depending upon the events of that year, for example, if it's the election year, sometimes it has been delayed. Okay, so or a few other cases, COVID के time में delay हुआ था. All of this has happened. Usually in the month of May. This year it is in May. Next year also it is expected to be May. The preliminary examination, the first stage will happen. Those who clear this preliminary examination, the first stage, please try to remember the name. Preliminary examination, commonly called as prelims. Okay, those who clear this, they will move on to the next stage, which is commonly called as mains written examination. Mains written is where your overall understanding of the subject is tested in detail. This examination goes usually for 10 to 12 days in the month of September or October, sometimes August. Okay, so again, depending upon the cycle, if the prelims was early, it may happen in the month of August itself. Okay, if it is little bit late, it may get pushed towards September. UPSC is trying to push everything little bit ahead only. So second stage happens in the month of August, September, and after that the result will come somewhere in the month of December. The result of mains, because it takes time. Prelims result is usually announced in 10 to 15 days only, but mains result will take, because it has to be done, a thorough evaluation is required. Okay, so a total of 9 papers will be required to answer here, and that after that the result is announced in the month of December usually, and then from January itself usually the personality test, which is commonly called as interview, will start. Jan, Feb, March, April, it goes up to the month of April, and then once the personality test is done, the final result will be announced either by the end of April or in the month of May, before the next cycle begins. The final result is where you get the rank. Okay, so with the rank, depending upon your preference, depending upon your, so overall the reservation or general, whatever the category you belong to, you will get the service. Okay, so among all the services which is offered by UPSC, the top services being IAS, IPS, IRS, okay, so and few other services. For all the services, they give the rank list, and then you will be allocated the service. Then after that, the cadre will be allocated if you get all India services. This is the entire life cycle. But the thing is, before the cycle of examination begins, you have to ensure that your preparation cycle is complete. Preparation itself takes 1 or 2 years. And being a working professional, it may take 1 or 2 years. If you are giving, let's say, 100% of time with a full-time job, starting early is always good, because you will have that scope. Otherwise, a minimum of 1 year is definitely required for the preparation, and then the minimum of 1 year of the cycle of examination. Okay, so definitely minimum of 2 years of the cycle goes. And this is the overall pattern. In prelims, there are 2 papers, paper 1, paper 2. Paper 1 is general studies. Paper 2 is called as CSAT. General studies includes the general subjects like geography, polity, economics, environment, history. Okay, so science and technology and current affairs, which everyone have to study. There is no specialization here. It is common for everyone. And CSAT is basically short form of Civil Services Aptitude Test, which is related to the maths, reading comprehension, logical reasoning, data interpretation, etc. Very basic, not too advanced here. And sometimes it becomes technical, so you have to give enough attention over there. And that is CSAT. CSAT is qualifying in nature. Those who clear CSAT, their marks in general studies will be accounted to ensure their qualification for mains. Okay, so let me repeat this again. CSAT, you just have to cross the qualification cutoff. Once you cross the qualification cutoff, your marks in GS will be checked, and those who score high in GS are qualified for mains. Those who score high in CSAT, it doesn't matter. How much ever you score in CSAT, it doesn't matter. You just have to qualify over there. Your GS marks, that is paper 1 marks, will be checked. Usually the cutoff lies around 80 to 90 to 100, depending upon the difficulty of paper. Okay, so once you clear the prelims, you enter the mains. In mains, there's one essay. Okay, so essay, there's one paper, 250 marks. General studies, GS, there are 4 papers, each 250 marks, 1000 marks, and then one optional with 2 papers, that is the same optional, optional 1, optional 2. Let's say geography, geography optional 1, geography optional 2. Same optional 2 papers, 250, 250 each. And there are 2 papers of language. One is Indian language, another is English language. Okay, so these 2 are again qualifying in nature. These marks will not be counted, but these 7 papers marks will be counted. A total of 1000 plus 500 plus 250. 1750 is the marks for which you are actually writing the mains. Okay, so and language is 300 each. It is just qualifying in nature, very similar to CSAT. Okay, so once you qualify in language, their marks in this will be counted, and in that the top, let's say, so 2000 to 2500 candidates will be called for interview, which is conducted for 275 marks. Now 1750 plus 275, they will together they will count it, and based on the final marks, a rank list will be made. And those who get through this final rank list gets the services. Okay, this is the actual pattern of examination. This is the syllabus of GS, General Studies, Paper 1. This is the syllabus of CSAT. Okay, so, and this is the same pattern which I explained earlier. For optional, you have the choice of selecting any of these 26 optionals which has been listed by UPSC. Okay, so you can choose irrespective of your background, irrespective of your work, irrespective of your specialization. If at all you have done a graduation, let's say you have done a graduation in science, you can still go for art subjects, humanities. Okay, if you have done graduation in your arts, and if you are interested and if you can do that, you can pull off, you can go into the science subjects also. There is no limitation. Anything which you choose, you have to study in more detailed manner at the honors level, that is 4-year degree level. Okay, so that is your optional. So now moving on to the next segment. So you have the fair idea of syllabus. Okay, so still the question comes. Okay, so syllabus इतना बड़ा सा है, so ये कर पाएंगे क्या? Okay, so इतना मुश्किल लग रहा है तो कर पाएंगे क्या? So yes, definitely you can do this. We have very famous examples in front of us. Okay, so they have been able to show to the world that yes, they are able to do this. The best example is Srishti Dabas, the All India Rank 6 2023, who along with the preparation she was able to clear. Okay, so and she has got a very good rank, very good marks. Okay, so that is a very perfect example. And also Kushal Jain from 2021 batch, who was able to secure All India Rank 40. He was also a working professional, and this is not just, okay, so the list continues every year. In the list, you will always find few people, and most importantly, you will also find many of these candidates who are already selected, who are already in service, again coming back and appearing and improving their rank. They are also working professionals. Okay, so many of the times these IPS training officers are coming here and then they are able to clear. Imagine they are going through training, one of the toughest trainings, still they are able to clear this exam. Okay, so every year we find such kind of candidates. Okay, so and the most common pattern and lessons which we learn from their experience. Most of them start early. Okay, so it's not very easy. The entire process is difficult, and they start early. They ensure a consistently level, because when you start early, you have enough time. Okay, so let's say 2027 is your target. This is the right time for you to start your journey, and then go consistently, slowly and smoothly. Okay, so you have that advantage. You can do certain mistakes and learn from this and then improve. Okay, so you have that, so the clarity of, so time. Okay, so if at all you are starting very late, let's say 2027 का preparation है, आप शुरू करें 2026, mid 2026, there is a very less time for, then you will have to hurry. In that stress only, so you may not be able to perform. Second important thing is consistent micro study. So usually these working professionals, they divide the entire preparation into different small segments. Okay, so and they keep the small targets, achieve them, and then move on to the next target. They ensure that there is a proper micro level study. Okay, so and they enjoy this process. They enjoy performing this, so the different completion, and they move on, because so when you're doing in this segmented manner, you ensure there is also consistent level. Okay, so if you're trying to do everything at a point of time, so so that creates a total confusion, and it will not be able to succeed over there. Most important thing which we see in a working professional is a proper utilization of weekend time. Okay, so it is generally assumed at least you should get 1 day or 2 days. So if it is an IT professional, definitely you will have 2 days of working weekend time where you are completely free. You have to ensure that you utilize this maximum weekend time for your self-study preparation. Okay, so and during the weekdays, ensure that so you give whatever the available time in a consistent manner. This weekend and weekday balance is a very important thing which we have observed in them. And the number of resources, yes, definitely. They are not, we have seen in most of the cases, they keep their resources limited. Resources, so very, so few. They are not going to read everything, but they ensure that whatever they're reading, whatever the material through which they are going, it is done in a 100% thorough manner. Okay, this is very, very important. Okay, so this is actually becomes the strength of a working professional. A person who has the luxury of time tend to read everything which is available, and he may not be able to develop that expertise which is required. When you focus on limited sources, you give your 100% over there, you would develop a mastery over there. Okay, so that becomes your major advantage. And resilience. Okay, so you try to come out of the stress very easily, because for a person who is not a working professional and going through the financial issues or the family issues or anything else, so usually a working professional is out of all of that and will be able to face those challenges which is faced by a completely free aspirant in more better manner. Usually they will be able to face those challenges and immediately find a solution and come back. They had shown that capacity. Okay, so these are the very quick lessons which we can learn from those candidates who had cleared along with their working job. But the most important thing which you have to ensure during this entire journey is the question of why. Because the question of why is more important than the question of how. How is very easy. Okay, I'll tell you, so many other people will tell you. Okay, so you have the example of many other candidates. If you just follow this strategy, you will also understand. Okay, so you do some more thorough research, you will get, okay, so ये भी पढ़ लेना, NCERT पढ़ लेना, लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ लेना, सब लोग बोल ही देंगे. Okay, so but the question of how से ज़्यादा important है the question of why. Okay, so because so during this entire preparation stage, a lot of time you go through a challenge where you start doubting yourself whether you will be able to clear this exam or not, whether you will be able to balance both or not. If your question of why is clear, why do you want to come to UPSC? Why do you want to clear UPSC? The reason can be anything. I'm not asking you the reason. In your mind, please ensure why do you want to do this. Okay, so don't come just because you are not liking your job. Okay, so don't come here so thinking you want to, let's say you want to earn more money. Okay, so definitely not. Right? You can earn more money in your private. The private sector pays you well than the government sector. This is the truth. Yes, I'm telling about the honest efforts which you are going to make in government. And the conditions have completely changed. This is not a time when people used to say, sarkari job hota hai, to ek baar aa gaya to complete hai, to mera life set hai. This is definitely not the time. Okay, so try to sit and think, why do you want to come? Okay, so whether it can be an experience of working in government, an experience of working with common man, or it can be so honest opinion of having a prestige. Okay, so yes, a civil servant is treated well in the society. Okay, so you have that prestige, you have that power to bring a change. Yes, right, and you get the variety of experience which is not available in any other. Whatever the answer here, you be clear about that. I'm telling you, don't come here thinking that you don't like your job. You may end up doing the same thing here also. Try to see what is there in UPSC. Why you want to prepare for UPSC. If you clear UPSC, what will you do? Try to think in that direction. And make it as a small note, put it on the wall in front of your study table. See it on daily basis. Whenever there is a downtime, try to see it again. Okay, so this will give you answer. This will ensure that you get that consistency required for you. This is the most important part. Okay, so I hope you work on this. And the second important thing here is acceptance. Once you accept that you are a working professional and going to prepare parallelly, no turning back. Don't ever think कि मुझे job छोड़ देना चाहिए, नहीं हो पा रहे, नहीं. Once you accept that you are going to prepare, then you will start thinking how to do this. Okay, so when you always have that in your mind, ठीक है छोड़ सकता हूँ, शायद छोड़ने से so ठीक हो जाएगा. So you will always find that as an excuse of not doing well. Once you accept, okay, this is it. Okay, so यही करना है मुझे. Whatever it is, let me fight it out. Then you will try to find a solution. Acceptance is the second most important thing here. Right? Yeah. So with this, so let's end this first session on the working professional preparing for UPSC. Okay, so through the further series, we'll try to explore and give more insights and inputs into the preparation level. Yeah. Thank you.